interfering in judicial appointments, or at least ask your government to do so. That the ruling dispensation allows a free media extensively on the emergency of Indira Gandhi.
Views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any organization.
Namaskar. Hello and welcome friends to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Now, this week there's been a lot of talk about the emergency. No, not the so-called undeclared emergency of 2014 to 2024, but the original emergency of 1975. That's right. It's been the 49th anniversary this week of Indira Gandhi's declaration of emergency, and the Modi government has been urging one and all to recall the emergency period. No problem with that at all. In fact, it's good. Today's India does need more and more history lessons. Remember, I was just 10 years old when the emergency was declared, so I have no real recollection of all that happened, but I've read extensively on the emergency of Indira Gandhi, and truth be told, no one, repeat, no one can justify what happened in 1975. Narendra Modi ji and the BJP have particular reason to remember the emergency, since many of them and their leaders were jailed at that time. May I also point out, though, that it wasn't just the Jan Sangh whose leadership and members were jailed during the emergency. A range of opposition parties faced the wrath of Mrs. Gandhi's government. It was wrong. It was a dark moment in India's democracy. It should never have happened. And Indira Gandhi and the Congress paid a heavy price in the end for the 1975 emergency. If, however, the idea of the Modi government to recall the 1975 emergency this year is to score a political point in Parliament, then sorry, my friends, it makes no sense to me. You can't move ahead, you see, by looking at India through a rear view mirror without offering a clear path to the future. Or may I say that you can't really move forward without shaking off the autocratic mindset that was at the heart of the Indira emergency. So if the Narendra Modi government is truly serious to ensure that the ghosts of the emergency will never return, then let me today, on Straight Bat, give you a 5-point program that I hope Modi ji will implement instantly. Point number 1. Modi ji, please free the central agencies from government control. Indira Gandhi got away with the emergency because she ensured that every agency and bureaucratic setup was beholden to her, the individual. Let's be honest. Is it any different today? Does any agency, be it the dreaded Enforcement Directorate, the CBI, the senior bureaucracy, really act independently? 95% of the cases involving politicians under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act involve opposition leaders. Switch sides and the cases go cold. Can anyone in this government then cross their heart and claim there is no misuse of agencies? Truth is, every agency has been weaponized to target and intimidate the opposition in particular. So if you truly want us to remember the emergency, Modi ji, please stop misuse of the agencies. Number 2, and linked to point number 1. Modi ji sir, if you want to remember the emergency of 1975, do start with the implementation of police reforms. Opposition leaders were arrested in 1975 because the police was complicit in their arrests. Opposition leaders are arrested on the eve of the 2024 elections because guess what? The police again are complicit. This is as much true of the center as in states, where the police is used to target and intimidate your political rivals. The Supreme Court judgment in the Prakash Singh case on police reforms, which called for the freeing up of the police from political interference, goes back to 2006. That's 18 years now. 18 years in which we've seen UPA and NDA governments. Why has this police reforms not been implemented? If you truly want the emergency mindset to go, Mr. Modi, please implement the police reforms and the plan that was given in the Prakash Singh case. Number 3, Indira Gandhi got away with the emergency because the judiciary was totally compromised, sadly. On the surface today, the higher judiciary may appear free, but the reality is that judges today also remain under intense political pressure. Recall also the 2021 case of Justice Akhil Qureshi, who was repeatedly denied elevation to the Supreme Court despite recommendations from the Supreme Court Collegium. Fact is, the final word on judicial appointments is still at one level with the government. The Modi government has often delayed and procrastinated on judicial appointments, which sadly sends out the wrong signal again. So Modi ji sir, if you want to reject the emergency and create a new mindset, please do stop interfering in judicial appointments, or at least ask your government to do so. Fourth point, Parliament. Indira Gandhi got away with the emergency because Parliament was reduced to a rubber stamp, as was the President's office. Sadly, many believe that's exactly what's been happening between 2014 and 2024. Recall now just how few bills are even sent to standing committees of Parliament for any kind of scrutiny. Recall how contentious legislation has been rammed through over the last 10 years. Recall how the working days of the 17th Lok Sabha were the lowest ever in our parliamentary history. Recall how over 100 MPs were suddenly suspended overnight. Want to remember the emergency, Modi ji sir? Free up the parliament and give the opposition an equal voice too. And fifth and final point, sir, it's the media. The media, my friends. The media. Recall what L.K. Advani, the BJP patriarch and Bharat Ratna, said about the media's role during the emergency. When asked to bend, they crawled. Shall I say it again? When asked to bend, they crawled. Now, Mrs. Gandhi got away with the emergency censorship because the media did not resist it. In fact, collaborated with the censorship, many believe, barring one or two glorious exceptions. Fast forward to today. How many individuals or media houses can truly claim to have told truth to power on a consistent basis over the last 10 years? Did we question the government relentlessly on COVID death figures, on detentions that were taking place under UAPA and the Public Safety Act, on Chinese intrusions, on just how PM Cares is funded, who is funding it, why can't we get details under right to information? And my friends, this is not just the case with the center. In how many states, whether BJP ruled, Congress ruled, or third party ruled, opposition ruled states, Trinamool, Congress, DMK, or any party, can we truly say that the ruling dispensation allows a free media? Only today, I have received a representation from Telugu news channels claiming that their networks have been illegally blocked by the just sworn-in Chandrababu Naidu government in Vijayawada. Similar complaints were heard when Jagan Mohan Reddy was also in power. It almost seems as if the more things change, the more they remain the same. So want to remove the stain of emergency, Modi ji? Please free up the media. Okay, my friends, I've said my piece today. As I said, it is my view that token resolutions in Parliament condemning the emergency are just political posturing. If you truly want to change things, then implement, my 5-point program. If not, all I can say to those who were victims of emergency, unfortunately in 1975, but are now in power, where you stand in politics depends on where you sit. So stop misusing your power and then speak up on the emergency loud and clear. I will be listening. That was the Straight Bat. Do, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind, Namaskar, Jai Samvidhan.